Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now again in this week's video we're gonna have a book review and a book summary video, and the book that we're gonna discuss for this week is none other than Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo. I'm sure that you must have heard about this book. This book has been the rave of the online self-development, self-improvement world for quite some time, and it has gotten mixed reviews from everybody. Now, I consider myself to be very lucky for having the signed version of this book by Ankur Warikoo. Yeah, so that's one thing. Now, as I said that this book has got mixed reviews from everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk about the good things about this book and certain bad things about this book. And then you can go on to decide for yourself whether you want to give this book a read or not. And also some of my personal key learnings from this book. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Now coming to the introduction of this book, Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo. Do Epic Shit is a quote that he personally himself resonates with a lot. And if you do not know Ankur Warikoo already, I don't know, do you live under a rock or something? But Ankur Warikoo is a famous content creator. He has been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, if I'm not wrong. He's an investor and he's the founder of nearby.com. He shares all his life journey in this book, and he also talks about entrepreneurship, money, investing, and all other aspects of life in general. I personally am a big fan of Ankur Warikoo. I love his content. I found his content very, very insightful. And I also love the way he presents his content, the way he speaks, the tone in which he speaks. So he has been an inspiration in my life. But don't worry, that would not make me give you a biased review of his book. So let's move on to the next segment and discuss the good things about this book. Now, talking about the good things about this book, first would be that it is the best book for a beginner. If you're somebody who's just starting to read or who wants to build a habit of reading, this is the book that you should go for. Because one of the main problems that beginners or readers in general face is that finishing the book is very difficult. Like, you may be motivated to start a book, you may find it interesting in the beginning, but to go throughout the book, to go it till the end is a difficult job. And the best thing about this book is that it has bite-sized lessons, like one lesson a page. And Ankur Warikoo himself says that you can pick up this book and open to any page and start reading. Next point would be that if you haven't watched any of Warikoo's videos or content before, then this book is going to be a treat for you, because it is a compilation of all his insightful learnings, of all his life journey. And this book is divided into 6 parts, namely success, habits, awareness, entrepreneurships, money, and relationships. So Ankur Warikoo has shared all of his valuable learnings in one place in this book. So if you are not exposed to his content, then make sure that you check this out. Next point is that this book uses a very simple language, which makes it accessible to the masses. Now, as Indians, you want to read very simple language. We do not want higher vocabulary languages. So this book is very, very simple to read, and that makes it accessible to more people, and more people become readers. So it's a win situation for everyone. Also, the quotes and the lines used in this book are very, very unique. So again, a very simple read for anybody who's a beginner. So make sure that you check this out. Now, coming to the bad things about this book. So as I said earlier, if you're somebody who has been already exposed to Warikoo's content on YouTube or Twitter or other platforms, then there's nothing new that you're gonna learn from this book. These are the things that he's already spoken in a lot of his videos or in a lot of his threads that he writes on Twitter. So now let's talk about the bad things about this book. So as I said earlier, that if you're somebody who's been already exposed to Warikoo's content, so there's nothing new that you're gonna learn from here, because whatever he's written in this book, you might have come across in his YouTube channel or in the threads that he writes on Twitter. So there might not be any new concept that you would learn. But if you're a Warikoo fan like me, you can still go for this book because you will have everything organized in one place. You do not have to go and check out that video or find that thread on Twitter. You can have everything organized in one place and you can go through it whenever you want. Like if you have a 15 minutes break during your work, you can just pick up this book and pick up any random chapter and go through that learning. Next point is that this book is written in a bite-sized format. It does not have a certain flow that it is following chapter-wise chapter. It does not have any concepts that are being discussed in deep, or it does not follow any certain idea in a flow. So if you're somebody who wants to read in detail or who has a specific intent while reading this book, then this book is not for you. So you may be someone who likes this bite-sized format, or you may be someone who does not like to read in this format. So it's completely up to you whether you want to go for this book or not. Next point would be that if you're somebody who reads a lot of self-improvement or personal growth content, or in general reads a lot of non-fiction books, then you may already be aware of these concepts. There's again nothing new or groundbreaking that you would be learning from this book. So again, in that case, you may decide on to skip this book. That is completely for you to decide. So now let's move on to the next segment of this video, which is my key lessons, my key takeaways from this book, and also my favorite quotes from this book. So the first one is, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. And I resonated with this quote a lot because as somebody who used to value words more, I've started to value action more than words. We judge ourselves on the basis of the thoughts that we have, but we judge others on the basis of actions that they do. And that is true for them as well. They will judge us not on the basis of the thoughts that we have. They cannot read our mind. They judge us on the basis of the actions that we do. So it is very important to take actions. Commitments mean nothing if you do not take action. Next would be, we just have one life. Why live it with just one identity? Again, I resonated with this quote a lot, and Ankur Warikoo himself is an entrepreneur and also a content creator now. So he talks about why you should have just one identity when you can have and do so many different things in one life. So I personally like to pursue a lot of ventures, and I also have different shades of my personality. So this is something that I resonated with as well. The next one is, the pro is the amateur who simply showed up every day. Now, no one is a born pro. Everybody is naive or an amateur when they start. You may look at someone and say that, wow, they are pro at something and you do not know anything. But even he or she was an amateur, a beginner one day, and they made certain choices. They chose discipline. They chose not to be called an amateur for long, and that made them a pro. So do not get intimidated by someone who's a pro, but start taking action, start showing up every day, and you may also become a pro one day at whatever you do. Next one is, saying no to everything else and sleeping on time is the greatest secret sauce of self-love. Now, I cannot emphasize on this enough. This is very, very important. It also says that some of the smartest people in the world are competing for your sleep time. They're competing for your attention. All these social media apps that you spend your time on, you feel like, let's watch another video or let's watch another reel or anything. All of these are fighting for your time. All of these are fighting for your attention. And you need to break that social media addiction. I've made another video on this channel as well recently. You can go and check that out too, where I have shared some of my ways in order to break the social media addiction. This also means that disconnection helps. So disconnect from all your social media for some time, spend time with yourself, and sleeping on time is one of the best forms of self-care. Next learning is, attitude is greater than experience, and experience is greater than education. So a lot of us emphasize and focus on more on education and then on experience, and often neglect the attitude part, but it is the opposite. A lot of entrepreneurs follow this hiring principle where they focus on attitude more. then on experience, and then on education. And even if you are an entrepreneur, then you should follow the same technique, because skills is something that can be taught with time. Education is something that can be learned with time. You can gain experience with time, but attitude is something that is very difficult to teach, which is very difficult to inculcate in somebody. So always choose attitude over experience and experience over education. Another important learning from this book is where he talks about the most important skills today that are hardly taught in this book, which is humor, storytelling, agreed, managing money, human psychology, and cold emailing. Now, about cold emailing, I've made another video on this channel recently. So if you want to learn cold emailing or how to write cold emails, then you can go and check out that video as well. So again, he talks about these skills and how we can acquire them and the importance they have in today's world. So now I would like to end this video with another of my favorite quotes that has been printed in the backside of this book. 3 relationships that define almost everything that happens to us in our lives. The relationship we have with money, the relationship we have with time, the relationship we have with ourselves. So this is another very powerful quote from this book. This book is full of such beautiful quotes, but if I go on to take all of these quotes, then this video will become a 20-minute long video, which I do not want. So I will end the video over here and leave it up to you to go and explore the rest of the book, to go and read this book, Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo. And then you can let me know your favorite quotes or your key learnings from this book as well. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video towards the end. I hope that you found something valuable from this video. Make sure that you share this video with your friends. Let me know in the comment section which book should I review next on this channel, and I would love to do that. Hit the like button and make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. I will see you in another video next week. Until then, goodbye.